What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're going to be doing the first mock draft of the season. We're here on Yahoo and we have the 10th overall pick. So I just want to say that sometimes with these mock drafts, people just leave halfway through or we just don't fill them out. You can't see the screen now, but on the left side, it looks like there's about 3 auto drafters. So that's going to happen, especially we're not even into September yet and we're already drafting for hockey. But I think the main point of this video today is just going to show you what to do with the 10th pick or what to do with, whatever pick I am for the upcoming mock drafts and just my strategies to set you up for a good draft. So, yep. So as you can see here, 10th overall pick. Categories: goals, assists, plus minus, power play points, shots on goal and hits. So standard categories for players. And then goaltenders, wins, goals against average, save percentage, and shutouts. But they do show saves and saves against here. So I think, number one thing for me here is setting up my draft queue so that if I get into a pickle, maybe, in the mid part of the round of the draft, I don't want to be scrambling to draft players or to find the players that I want to draft. So I always start off loading up my queue with players that I know are that can fall or that you're really high on, especially late in the drafts. And you guys will see me talk about a lot of these players, but this is a really important thing for me. I hope a couple goalies go early because that means I can get one of the top forwards. I'm really going to try and emphasize drafting defensemen here, especially with 10. I'm hoping I can get Hedman or Yossi. Yossi is someone that is just, I think, is just going to continue to fall in drafts. And it doesn't make much sense to me. He's just such a good player. And then I also have the fantasy puck tools as well. So those who sign up for our Patreon will get access to this. But we have our draft sheet. I can probably, there you go. So you can see how this works. You pretty much just put the player you draft. It fills it out for you. And this is just a good way to find what categories you're lacking in near the end of your draft. So I'm going to be using this on my right screen, but I will try and pull it up as much as I can. So it looks like McDavid, Leon, McKinnon, Matthews. I think Matthews falling at 4. If you get him there, it's just such a good pick. So right here, I'm looking at Ovi. I really like. I'm looking at Kucherov if he falls. Looks like Kaprizov went 6. Just going to keep adding players to my queue. Jack Quinn. Oh, God. He's at 1,000. That is sneaky. I think a lot of people here would go goalie at my pick, but I'm just not interested. I like Rantanen a lot there, especially center right wing. So I think Ovi might fall to me here. This is an auto drafter, so it's probably going to be Vasilevsky, assuming I think they take best off the board usually. But if I can snag Ovi Yossi to start my draft off, I think I'm going to be looking pretty good here. We also have an expected value chart that we built. So this is just based on the categories, and then it gives you an expected value above average. So you can see here, Ovi's really high for this league, and obviously Brady Tkachuk, my boy, who I'm going to try and grab. But yeah, Ovi seems like the best play here. I think a lot of people would be looking goalie, but for me, I just think you need that top skater, and you can worry about getting goalies a little bit later in the draft. So Ovi's my guy. Gonna fill it into the sheet here. Try and make it easier for you guys to see as I'm switching through screens. So Shesterkin, so the goalie went. Barkov, Pasternak, which I like there. He gets a center and winger. And then, it's pretty much between Yossi or Victor Hedman. I think because there's plus minus in this league, I'm probably going to take Hedman. But without plus minus, I think Yossi's your play here. But grab your Hedman. And then I'm going to toss it into my draft sheet. Pretty standard roster. So it looks like there is position eligibility here. So you're going to have to be a little bit more cautious when you're drafting, and you want to really focus in on guys that have dual position eligibility. I think that was a big thing for a lot of people when drafting in the first 3 picks, is that a lot of people like Draisaitl for center left wing, and I agree. I think Draisaitl is the number 2 pick in any draft. So I'm looking at Brady Tkachuk here. I am praying he falls to 34. It's pretty unlikely. So I think if Brady doesn't fall to me, Svechnikov's my guy here. I just like players that really fill out every category, and Svechnikov will give you that. I also really like a Vander Kane, but I think I can't wait on him. He is so good this season. He could be one of the biggest ADP steals in the draft. So I'm just going to go through here as we wait. Looks like Fox got taken, which is a good pick there. I like Swayman and Net, but we'll see if he makes it to me. The obvious sleeper this season that everyone's going to be drafting way, way too high. I'm curious to where McTavish goes because this is my first draft. So Lafreniere, dual position eligibility. He is slotted to play first line this year on the wing of Kreider and Zibanejad. Nothing set in stone yet, but I would be surprised if they let their first overall pick play on the third line this year. And there's so many guys from New Jersey that I like. Mercer. Like, where's Brat? Yeah. If I need points. All right, who's getting taken here? So Yossi ended up going 19th. I think that's such a good pick. So Antonio. So he started off with Rantanen, Yossi. Sorry, Rantanen, Fox. Why is it showing me Yossi here, though? Oh, okay, it's Petro's team. So Kaprizov, Yossi. Yeah, you can't really be too mad about that. JT Miller. That's someone I think that's getting... And him and Panarin both. I'm not really a Panarin fan this year. But Miller does have that center right wing. So it is intriguing. All right, my queue is so full. Gaudreau, Kreider. So he's taking a guy with really high point upside in Gaudreau and then complementing him with someone like Kreider who's going to give him hits and goals. Where Gaudreau's more of an assist player, so that's a good pick. Brady off the board. Still thinking Svechnikov will follow me. We'll see. I like Mika here too. Like you lock up your center position, a guy that's going to be on a really, really good team this season. I guess I did take Ovi as left wing, so I mean, my centers are already going to be thin, so that's something I got to start worrying about a little bit sooner than later. Yeah, like Hughes, Reinhardt, I'm fine with. I want Bennett really bad. That's the problem with taking a winger early, is that there's so many elite centers, but they're usually the top picks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, Rant 5, and Barkov 6. So 6 centers in the first round. Oh, Svechnikov went. Oh man, I'm in a pickle now. So I don't really like Gensel. I do like Timo Meier. The plus minus is scary, but the hits and shots are really good. So I think I'm going to end up going Meier here. There just doesn't seem to be any better options. And then I might come around and grab someone like Mort Seider. So still don't have that one center, but I do pick up a guy that pretty much hits every single category, similar to Ovi. In our expected value chart, we have him at the 9th best player, Timo Meier. But this doesn't include plus minus. It's just too hard to project. So goalies are starting to go off the board. Markstrom, Saros, Gensel went, DeBrincat went. I like DeBrincat, but just not there. It's just too risky for me. So I think I'm going to lock up another defenseman here, Mort Seider, a guy that's going to crush every single category for you. Let me just make a quick look to see. I like him a little bit over Riley here too. Actually, I'm going to end up going Letang. I have Letang a little bit higher than Cider. And the plus-minus league is something you got to keep in mind. 10th pick is pretty hard. I'm giving myself a challenge to start off this year, but that's fine. The main thing, I think, I just want to see where players are going. Like Mark Stone there, too risky. I think Kane falling to 45th is actually really, really good value. I think I can probably grab Hughes and maybe Evander Kane here. We will see, though. I do have a decent amount of hits on my team now. You can see, if I pull this up, you can't see the players here, but you can see my hits are already very, very high. I've already drafted 3 guys that, over 150. I mean, Letang's a little bit closer, but, I'm already well over where I need to be for hits. So keeping that in mind, it makes Hughes a little bit more interesting because he is a really high upside points player. We'll see what this is telling me. You guys will see this and laugh. It's because his hits are so high above average. I like Hughes quite a bit here, so I'll be getting him in the 5th round. And this is a guy that could have surpassed 100 points this season pretty easily. So the plus minus is a little scary, but I think the Devils are going to be better than people expect. So I lock up my center in the 5th round. It is a little late to draft one, but again, if you don't have any of those top picks, this is what's going to end up happening. And this is why you do mock drafts. So I'm probably going to go Evander Kane here. He's just not a 6th round pick. And then I'll probably end up taking a defenseman in round 7 with the late pick at 80. So yeah, Evander Kane here, no question. He hits every category and he gives us the hits. So it doesn't let me move Meyer to right wing and then Evander Kane left wing, but that's fine. As you can see, Evander Kane is one of the top players here. So now I got to decide on defenseman. I do like, and I saw his name, Shea Theodore. We'll see if he ends up falling to me. Fiala, Demko, 65th. That's really early. Fleury, too early. But after I draft my defenseman, I'll probably end up going goaltender. Swayman's available, Georgiev, Logan Thompson. Like there's a good amount of value here. I like Binnington too. I think a lot of people don't like Binnington, and like on a personal note, I don't think he's that good. But I just think the volume's going to be there. Like I don't think they can ride Grice for more than 25% of the games. So I think we have him projected at, what's his start percentage? There it is. Binnington, 75% start percentage. Yeah, we have him as like one of the highest volume starters this year. So it's just a matter of if he can get the wins. I wonder if Swayman will end up falling to me. But I'm still pretty set on going defenseman here. Shabbat. I got to keep Shabbat in mind too. Oh my God, 138. What's this telling us? It's telling us Shabbat's the play or Nurse. But we already do have hits, so we don't have to worry too much about Nurse. I'm going to go with Shabbat here and go against the projections, or go against the ADP rankings. And now we can get our 2C or our goaltender. So we'll see if Swayman falls. I think he's actually, based on our projections, one of the best goalies this year. Especially, and we have him at a low start percentage, but it's just a save percentage and goals against average. It's just so good. Petro, Theodore, Shabbat. Yeah, so the defense went right before me. Dubois, Norris. Yeah, I'm looking at Swayman here. So I lock up my 1G in the 8th round, and I'm already pretty set for defenseman. So now I can just, leave it for a little bit later with these guys like Forsling I have up here. I know I have Hampus Lindholm here. So those are guys I can just wait on. Now I can just focus on my forwards. So I definitely want to get another center. I think if Sam Bennett falls, I'm going to be taking him. I like Sam Bennett a lot this year. I do think that before Kadri, he was a little bit better because they did have an opening on their top power play. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about that trade. So I like Bennett a lot because of that trade to Calgary. So with Huberdeau gone now, there's an opening on power play 1, and it has to go to Bennett. Duclair is out till December. So I'm assuming it's going to be Bennett, Ekblad, Barkov, maybe Verhaeghe might sneak on there. So I'm on Bennett this year quite a bit. I'm going to add Verhaeghe too. He's always good. His plus minus is always so good. You just get him super late. But I want Bennett really bad. Quick. So Quick went 96th. I don't think this is an auto drafter. Dobson, Jesper Bratt went. I don't know if you can see. No. My face is in the way, but Georgiev. And honestly, I think it's kind of funny, but the fact that Georgiev is going much earlier than Francouz, I don't know how much sense that makes. I think they should be going, almost in the same pick, and you can snag Francouz 6 rounds later than him. Bouchard, that's a good pick. I like Bouchard. I don't know what. 103. All right, got my guy. This is my second center. I'm going to play Meyer at right wing, so I just need another winger. And you can see my queue is just full of wingers. So I might try and finish off my defense here and grab Nurse. I should also be updating this. It's hard to focus on everything. Letang. Who did I go next? Hughes. And then I went Letang. Trouba. So Nurse did go. Interesting. Okay. So I can probably wait a little bit. Yeah, the defense pool is really weak. Really, really weak. All right. Oh, I like Raymond there too. And he's a right winger. All right, I'm going to go Raymond here. This is an upside play. The plus minus isn't nice, but I think they're going to be a lot better this season. So Bennett, Hughes, Raymond. Meyer, got my goalie. That 920 save percentage projection. Letang, Ben Shabbat. So it looks like we're doing really well in hits. I think we need to up our point totals here a little bit. Oh, Evander. Almost forgot about him. And you will see blocks and penalty minutes in here, but you can just hide the column if you need to hide it. But you might as well keep it in, even if it's not part of your draft. So I need to start getting prepared for my next pick here. Someone like Trocheck, Batherson. I like Trocheck a lot this year. 250, that's just outrageous. I also need a goalie too, and I'll probably end up taking Binnington and then grabbing Francouz a little bit later. Or I can just go Allmark and just load up on the both Boston goalies. But I'll take Binnington. I'll take a flyer on him. So we're in round 11. Grabbed my first goalie round 8. We're now around 11, so 2 picks since then. And I'll lock up my second goalie. How many bench spots? Okay, this is actually a pretty... there's not really a lot. And it's going to force me to fill that right wing spot. Oh, yeah, Mangiapane. I'm going to take him late. I'll hold off on that spot for now. I'm going to go with trying to finish off my defenseman here. I really like Hampus Lindholm this season. And my main reason for it is because both Grzelcyk and McAvoy are out for, I think, until December. So that just gives Lindholm, he's going to be the number one guy there for at least the first half of the season. And that's enough value in the 12th round for me. You just can't go wrong with him. I got to remember to queue up Mangiapane. He could be my favorite player this year. And that's what I wanted to say. That's where I got him mixed up with Bennett. So I liked Mangiapane a bit more prior to Kadri signing in Calgary, just because I did think he was going to play power play 1. But I think Kadri's going to be there. I'm not 100% sure if Mangiapane will be, but we'll see. I just can't see. He scored 35 goals last year. How are they going to keep him down? But Sutter always finds a way, it seems like. Okay, Francouz did go. This is a really thin league, so I don't know if 3 goalies is optimal here. And there's going to be good goalies leaking out into the free agency. I think Allmark might end up going to free agency. So that's a guy you can acquire early. So I want to start looking at my queue here a little bit more. I'm probably going to end up taking Trocheck. I think I like him the most on this list, or Mangiapane. We'll see what happens. Mangiapane might be a bit better just for ADP purposes. Jarvis went. Zegras at 145 is pretty sneaky. I don't mind that. Tage Thompson too is good there. But again, the plus minus is just what's going to hurt those guys. I like Jarvis a lot. Ryan Pulock, he's just not relevant a whole lot in this league. It's just so hard to justify drafting Islanders players. He is also available, but I think my hits are good enough where I should be focusing more on points. And that's what Mangiapane is going to give. Oh, and he gets taken at 150. Oh, that's so common to happen in these drafts. Hey, at least someone was on him, though. I mean, Hyman's still available. Top 6 minutes on Edmonton. That's funny that Mangiapane went. I'm sure you guys have been through that a lot. Look at Trocheck. We have at 32, and he's falling to 250. He's going to be top 6 on the Rangers, and so they actually had the number 1 power play in hockey last season. I think they had 42 goals as a unit, and Trocheck's going to be on that unit to start the season. No question. I'll probably take another defenseman here. I'll probably end up going Forsey, maybe with my last overall pick. But just looking down the list here, I mean, I like Sean Dursey and Pionk quite a bit. But again, my hits are just high enough where I don't really have to worry about them. It's really going to force me to take a right winger here, right? Oh my God, okay. Tyler Seguin. All right, Jakey DeB. Don't go to my bench. Okay, good. So the reason why I like DeBrusk this season, you're going to see it in my sleepers video that's going to come out in a couple months. But if you watch this, you'll get a little sneak peek. DeBrusk is going to be so good this year. He played top 6 the second half of last year. I think he had 18 goals in the second half in like the last 35 games, something like that. And Marchand is going to be out, so DeBrusk should be power play 1 to start the season. So, and you're taking him in the 14th round, a guy that's going to be top 6 in Boston and power play 1. I mean, don't know how he falls so far. Do I take a chance at Beniers? Cross my fingers. I'm not a fan of taking guys with no sample. I feel like I'm missing someone. Trocheck. Did I put Bennington in? So easy to have it on like my 2 screens here, but just for the sake of showing the screen, does and I'm trying to talk while I do this and not really focusing. Bennington, Trocheck. Get you back in here. All right, where are we at? So round 15. I can probably wait for Forsling. And now it's honestly just you're looking at your queue to see who's available and who you like. I like Verhaeghe here. I have loaded up on forwards, but I am going to grab Forsling in the next pick. So I'm going to grab Verhaeghe here. Yeah. Verhaeghe over Lafreniere. It's too thin of a league. And then I'll end off with Forsling to get my backup defenseman. So my bench is going to be 3 forwards and 1 defenseman. There's 4 defense spots and then 6 forward spots. So you can prioritize forwards. And I only drafted 3 goalies, or only drafted 2 goalies. The bench is just too small, but you'll be able to find guys. Even Varlamov's available. Vladar, like you can find backup goalies as well that you can stream throughout the week. It'll be fine. Eriksson Ek, Seguin. Jeannot is still available, which is hilarious. Even Nico Hischier still available. Like there's a lot still on the board here, but I'm gonna go with Forsling just to get my last defense spot. Okay, draft is over, guys. First mock draft of the season. I went with the 10th pick, and at first glance, it seems like the 10th pick's actually pretty difficult. So, I mean, maybe near the end of September when I'm more up to date on my ADP rankings and where players are going in the draft, it might be a bit easier, but 10th picks seem pretty hard. But hopefully if you have the 10th pick and you watch this, you can kind of see the route I went. I really tried to focus on grabbing at least 3 defensemen before the first 7 rounds. And then I also wanted to load up on hits. I just think it's such a forgotten category and you can easily win them each week while still drafting guys with high point upside, right? So I drafted Ovi Meyer, guys with hits, a lot of goals. And then I complemented him with Jack Hughes, who's going to load up on points for me. Hedman, another guy. Shabbat, another guy. So pretty evened out draft. Goaltending might be a little risky, but these are goalies that I'm fine with. Last season, you took Shesterkin in the 15th round. No one knew how good he was going to be. He ended up being, the #1 fantasy goalie. So definitely not a fan of taking goalies early. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the first mock draft. Every Monday, we're going to be posting one. If you want to see anything different, maybe on Fantrax, ESPN, any of the other platforms other than Yahoo, if Yahoo works, make sure you leave me a comment. If there's any picks I missed, if you think, you saw someone on the board and I drafted someone else, let me know who that player was and why you think I should have drafted them. Definitely open to hearing everyone's comments. But guys, thanks for everything today. If you want access to all of our fantasy puck projections, our tools, our draft sheets, everything, you have customizable projections. You can just simply put in your scoring in these categories and it'll update for you and give you a total fantasy points. You just sort and it'll give you the best player at each position. Same thing with our draft sheet, guys. If you want to know how you're doing, if everything's evened out, what you're lacking on, what you're not lacking on, it's all available over in our Patreon, guys. Just $6 a month. And yeah, thanks for everything. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.